Hi, Scorpio. Right from the start, this energy feels emotional, like someone's heart is finally opening after holding back for so long. There is love here, deep love, hidden love, the kind of love someone tried to resist, but now they're realizing they made a mistake by keeping it inside. Scorpio. This person may have stayed silent, but their feelings never disappeared. They miss your energy, they think about what could have been, and now their heart is starting to speak louder than their fear. Something is shifting, something is softening, and this feels like a confession that can't stay buried anymore. So trust your intuition, take what resonates, leave the rest, and let's get into your reading.
Okay, so I feel like your person's in a really bad spot. There's been a lot of rapid, high energy, very intense change. And whilst their healing process has begun, there's this kind of purge, recovery period. A period of intense transformation is suddenly upon them. And remember, it's this time, which is a very intensely emotional time. And I feel like this person has just been absolutely floored by these energies. So there could be a tremendous amount of upheaval in their life at the moment. Okay. What is this upheaval? So with the Ace of Swords in reverse, this is them struggling to come to terms with some truth. There's Three of Cups here. There's definitely some kind of karmic or third party situation. For some of you, this could actually be a karmic situation relating to a very hedonistic lifestyle addiction, distracting behaviors, gambling, kind of really toxic lifestyle habits rather than a third party or karmic person. But either way, they've kind of identified some truth about the situation, but they're very much struggling to come to terms with it. With the Ten of Swords in reverse here, it does suggest that they are moving through that healing period, but it's just not yet complete. So, this person's not feeling very worthy of your love. With the King of Pentacles in reverse, they're very afraid of commitment. They don't have the courage to come forward. They don't perceive themselves as being someone that is worthy of your love. They see you as being someone who is awakened and enlightened and beautiful and just with such a good heart. And um, they just don't feel like they have anything to offer you. And with the Nine of Swords here, this person is really trapped in a very anxious. The Nine of Swords is the card of anxiety, of nightmares, of intense internal stress, turmoil, pain. It's really interesting that it's clarified by the sun. And again, for me, this is about being some truth illuminated. So, whilst they're trapped in this very anxious state, which is distracting them from their feelings about you, as I said, some truth has been illuminated with this sun card, and I do feel that this person is seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. But they're struggling to grasp it. But there is that feeling of optimism that wasn't there before. But this person is very distracted by these circumstances at the moment, and I feel there's a lot of apathy here. The intensity of their pain and their suffering is blocking their heart space from really embracing any feelings of a positive nature. With the 5 here, that Hierophant card, which is the number 5, this is in reverse. It features an eagle here, and it's actually called the Shaman. And there's a lot of blue and green. Again, the heart chakra, the throat chakra. I'm picking up that this is very blocked. This is stopping them from expressing themselves or realizing the truth of their heart. And this transition, this cycle that they're moving through is not completed. Again, this was clarified by this Ten of Swords in reverse, so rapid incoming change to them. But with a Nine of Cups here in reverse, this is causing them a dramatic amount of emotional imbalance. The Nine of Cups upright is the card of emotional fulfillment, wish fulfillment, and just feeling emotionally fulfilled and satisfied. And with this appearing in reverse, as they cycle through these very painful changes, they are just about as emotionally stable as an IKEA table. They're just not feeling good. So I do think that this person's feelings for you are being masked by the pain that they are experiencing. So, they just have other things on their mind. Let's try and get to the bottom of what their unacknowledged feelings or thoughts about you are. What is it they're not acknowledging? or that this pain is stopping them from seeing what's the truth in their hearts. So we've got the Seven of Swords, we've got the Emperor, we have got the Two of Wands, we've got the Five of Swords, we've got the Ten of Wands, and we've got the Tower. So I really feel like this person in their very anxious, very unworthy state, not to say that they are unworthy, but they feel unworthy. They are really struggling to accept your devotion or to come to terms with the idea that, they could actually have a happily ever after. The Seven of Swords is a card of deception, but these are feelings that are in their heart. It's actually called preparation and resourcefulness. In this card, it's represented by the cheetah, but what's actually coming through for me is that they feel like they're cheating themselves by even daring to believe that they could possibly be with someone like you. To them, it's a pipe dream. They've got a very cynical, bitter heart at the moment because it's just been crushed by a never-ending cycle of pain, is what I'm hearing. And with the Five of Swords, they're very conflicted because I feel like they care about you very much, but they have, this is represented by the armadillo, and I feel like they have this impenetrable shell around themselves. They're just so afraid to let love in, and both of these cards indicate a high degree of inner conflict, and the pain is so deep that they almost cannot allow themselves to break that shell, to crack their heart open and allow these feelings to emerge. So there's a tremendous amount of fear here with this person. We've also got the Emperor, that is the divine masculine card. And this is clarified by the Ten of Wands, which is about responsibility and dedication. The Emperor is about balance and harmony and stability and taking control. And I do feel that, deep in their heart, they wish they could be that stable provider. There's a very strong masculine energy here that wants to protect, provide, and love you, and to take responsibility and be able to be that King of Pentacles, which seems to them, that energy seems to remain so steadfastly out of reach for them. So there's definitely a desire there to be that divine counterpart. And for many of you, I'm picking up that they are aware of the soulful nature of your connection and they wish they can embrace it. They wish they could dedicate themselves to it in the way that you have and to take responsibility for themselves and their own energy. The Two of Wands, and this is represented by an eagle hawk, which is a spiritual messenger. This makes me feel that they wish they could make a decision, but there's so much confusion and inner conflict here. And with this very painful healing and purging experience that they are going through with a third-party personal situation is not allowing them to communicate their spiritual truth or their heartfelt truth. It's really interesting that this is clarified by the Tower, and the Tower card in this deck is represented by a chameleon. And for me, this is a dramatic fear of change, and yet I feel like change is upon them, whether they like it or not. It feels like everything is crumbling, the ego is breaking down, but they're terrified of that change. They know that in order to be their best self, to be the kind of person they believe you deserve and want, they're going to have to undergo this major transformation that absolutely terrifies them. So, there are very deep feelings here, but there aren't many cards of emotion, and those that have come up are blocked. So as I said, this person has a very blocked heart space. They can't acknowledge or come to terms with their feelings at this moment because their feelings are blocked by the intensity of the pain and the kind of intense transformative energies that they're currently experiencing. So you need to be really gentle with this person. I know that you're longing for some form of reciprocation. You're longing for them to express themselves, but this person has no clarity of mind right now. They don't know how they feel about anything. They have a very low opinion of themselves, and they just can't see the wood for the trees. These are really very sad energies, to be honest with you. I just feel just very compassionate for this person right now. They are really not in a good place. So what can you do? What's the guidance to you? What can you do to support them, or what actions should you be taking at this time? We've got the Magician, we've got the Knight of Swords in reverse, we've got the Three of Swords, we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I've got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is a really clear message. and we've got the Six of Swords in reverse. Okay, this is a really powerful message. Now, the first card out is the Magician. And it's really interesting that the label on this card here is willpower, and you're being asked to exert your strength of will to hold back. Now is not the time to take action. We've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. We've got the Three of Swords. It's about release and recovery. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is about new beginnings in reverse. And we've got the Two of Pentacles, which is about change in reverse. We've also got the Six of Swords, which is about moving forward in reverse. So all of these cards are saying, don't take any action. Now is not the time to act. Now is not the time to do anything. Now is the time to be a passive and supportive person if they call upon you for that support. You're being asked to have willpower and understand that you've got the strength to hold back and to focus on you. Now is the time to create, really more room for loving self. And if this is a divine counterpart, if this is a twin flame or a soulmate that you're dealing with, particular a twin flame, understand that your power to support them is actually in supporting yourself because you share energy with this person. So by holding back and just giving yourself lots of love and healing, they are going to feel the benefits of that in their energy. But the Knight of Swords in reverse definitely says do not take action. Okay, this is a time to pause, to hold back, and to not be pushing yourself on this person or demanding anything from them. The Three of Swords with release and recovery suggests to you that you're still healing. There's still some pain that you need to work out for yourself. Let's see some clarifiers on what that is. What is it that you're still working through from a healing perspective? Friendship, abundance, and gratitude. So, for me, this feels about accepting the platonic nature of this connection at this time. Accepting that right now you just need to be friends. And if you're struggling with that, you need to understand that struggle, that jealousy, that fear, that frustration you're feeling and not having anything more than friendship from this person is indicating the lack of self-love and union with self within you. Because when you need someone that's not healthy love, that's distorted love. And if you truly love them unconditionally, you should be able to lovingly offer them the space and time that they need and just give yourself that love. It says here, I understand that this friend is in my life for a reason, and I'm guided to say, everything does happen for a reason. The way things are between you at the moment, it may not be the romantic love story that you're looking for, but this person is really going to respect and appreciate just how devoted and loving and kind and supportive you have been. There's an indication here for some of you as well that you've been so focused on work and your own abundance that you haven't given yourself enough time to be your own friend and to actually work through that healing. All the healing and love you're prepared to give your person and other people, you need to redirect that focus inwards and give it to yourself because there's definitely some unresolved healing here for you. There's things that need to be released. There's still some transformation that needs to take place. You are actually in recovery yourself. And even though you may be much farther along in the journey than them, you do need to take this time to focus on you. With the abundance card as well, there is a need to focus on your 3D perception of money, finances, income, work. This is something that's still being brought into balance. So if you're finding yourself out of sync with that, you really need to focus some time and attention on bringing it back into balance and harmony. And also with gratitude, this is about being thankful for the opportunities that are presented for you now for your growth, rather than resisting them and being frustrated and resentful that you're not where you want to be. This is about learning to appreciate where you are and surrender. Gratitude is at the heart of surrender and acceptance. Surrender and acceptance is to be grateful for where you are and to embrace all of the lessons and opportunities presented as being exactly what you need in this moment. Is surrendering to divine timing, the divine plan, and to just loving yourself and life and your circumstances, regardless of what's being presented. So there's definitely a need for you to bring yourself back into balance here. 3 is also the number of divine feminine energy and manifestation. But as I said, with the Ace of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles in reverse, These cards are about new beginnings and change. And, this strongly recommends that now is not the time for a new beginning with this person. Right now, they just need your friendship. They're not ready for change. They're not ready to move things forward. So you really need to just hang back and lovingly give them the room to figure out this really painful situation that they are actually in, because it is really brutal. Oh, heavy, heavy energies. And sometimes that heavy, brutal energy isn't about internal conflict alone, but about a past that refuses to stay buried, where one person is battling demons of unworthiness, another is battling the ghosts of a connection that felt impossible from the start. So, how is your person thinking and feeling about you? What feelings aren't they even acknowledging? What do they want to say to you that they can't? What's the guidance for you and how to move forward for your highest good? I'm also going to have a look at what changes you can expect in your connection as well. This person feels very protective of you. You really do trigger the deepest masculine traits. They want to provide, they want to protect you, they want to naturally love you. They just want to wrap their arms around you and make sure you're safe. They do see you as someone that is not always emotionally strong, and they see you that you're anxious, but there's also this kind of this holding back, because even though they want to give you all of these things, they don't feel equipped to. It's like they just don't feel good enough. They haven't got all of these things in them that they feel you need and want. And so I feel like this person isolates themselves from this connection. If they hold back and they long to bring it back into balance and harmony. They long to help you come back into balance and harmony. So you've got this kind of rescuer, hero, heroine energy here. As I said, it's that damsel in distress, knight in shining armor energy, which, to be fair, is out of balance. That is distorted, because you should both be able to love and take care of yourselves. So this person is definitely very empathic, and they get a lot of their self-worth by being that caring person, that rescuer, and they see you as someone that needs rescuing. But these energies in themselves do indicate that neither of you are really ready for this. So you've definitely changed their perspective of what love can look like. They feel a bard in neurology. You hold the else with some gratzes beat, base saving animations, point Louis and get hoverfee that they're not working at home. You both fun. Let's see what these lessons are that they're cycling through. We've got the Eight of Wands, Judgment in reverse. Okay, so they've not woken up spiritually yet. I do feel like there's like a change occurring there, okay? And they may also have other options. Okay, so this person may have a karmic connection where they actually feel a bit more needed. They actually feel a bit like capable of giving this person what they need. There's a bit more balance and harmony in this connection. So there are other things that they, so that they're isolating themselves on the connection with you. But I feel like there definitely could be a connection to another person here that kind of feels, someone they can actually be all of these things to. There's something about you. What is that about you? That they feel, even though they see you as being anxious and emotionally unstable, they see you as being materially somewhat more accomplished than them. They see you as, they're also working through their own wounding, is what I'm hearing. So this perception of themselves, of the situation, isn't necessarily exact in terms of the reality of the situation. It's their perception. It's their warped perception based on their own pain. But this person isn't sure if you only see them as a conquest, so I think it's very possible, actually, that neither of you has discussed feelings. I'm picking up an age gap energy here as well. I think you could be older than this person, and so, they, even though they want to help you feel loved and safe and to help you, be brought back into emotional balance, they don't feel equipped to be this kind of very masculine provider, carer, even though it's what they dream about. So it could be that they're kind of involved with someone that's more in line with their own age. And it could be that actually, even though you've had a very, say friends with benefits type connection with this person, that they're not at all sure if a potential relationship is even on the table. So, I do think that you've been very tight-lipped and that maybe there's been I mean, there are very few cups cards here apart from this 4 of cups. This and the 7 of cups with the illusions and options here, and the 5 of cups, that sadness. And I don't think they're actually aware of what they think you think about them. Look, we've got Justice, the Empress in reverse, the 4 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, clarifying lovers, 5 of Wands in reverse, 2 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse. Do you know what? In your attempts to play it cool, I think even though you really care about this person, you've probably said you really care about them. I feel like you've been lovers and you may have started seeing them initially to punish someone else, to get back at an ex, something like that. I'm picking up some kind of energy of seeing this younger person to make someone jealous, but I think in your attempts to play it cool, you've actually told this person that it could never work between you, that you don't want the responsibility of a serious relationship, and that you're really indecisive about long-term relationships, that you feel more peaceful and safe on your own because of the trauma you've had in relationships, and that you don't want any of that kind of fighting conflicts anymore. So, I feel like you've been very deeply wounded and you've not actually allowed yourself to be vulnerable with this person, at least, but this is very much the perception they've got, TK. That they were some kind of rebound, friend with benefits, some kind of vengeful shag, as we call it in England. And this person's not aware of how you feel about them. They have really deep feelings for you. They feel so protective. They they want to be your husband. They want to be the big guy in your life, the man of the house, and they don't feel equipped to be. And I feel like you just don't feel good enough either because, they might have this dalliance with the younger person, but you're not offering them any emotional reassurance or security either. This is so interesting. What do they want to say to you, but they can't? Put the Hierophant in reverse. We've got the Fountain in reverse. That's a bonus card in this deck. To me, it means like infinity. We've got the Page of Wands in reverse. So that's a 7 of Wands in reverse. I've got the 10 of Cups in reverse. I got the Star reversed. These are really sad energies. This person feels like they're just not good enough. They've not grown enough here. But there's a message here that they're going to love you for infinity. You've really moved with this person. And they feel like they don't have the same kind of barriers and maturity as far as communications are concerned to be able to open up to you. They wish they could let their barriers down and just tell you how they really feel, but they've struggled to move it beyond a sexual connection. The saddest thing is that which they want the most with you, which is this happily ever after, they just don't feel like it's possible. And I feel like they want to ask you outright if there's ever any chance of that because it may have been really early doors when you laughed off a seemingly innocent question about it. Just, oh, come on, it will never work. And you were trying to play it really cool, but I feel like this has really crushed him. It's crushed any hope they had of having that. There's actually quite sad energies. I would die for your kiss, individual. So that man, I brought my help out Gaza on all Picho. It takes me sure at the same time what I've done. I constantly feel you running through my veins. I have had sleepless nights caught between confusion and pain. Oh, I feel so much sorrow for this guy. I cannot handle any more heartbreak. This person really cares, and I feel like you've been hurt so badly you haven't the ability to operate from a place of authenticity and vulnerability, and you really try to play it cool. And I understand why, because there's a big age gap here. You're probably assuming that they would never be mature enough already for a long-term relationship with you. So it feels like you've kind of put the brakes on it before it's kind of got out of hand. And, you've kind of really very much given them the impression it can never happen. But really, there's something very deep between you. So I feel like in response to your playing it cool, he may have kind of been a bit dismissive and avoided you, maybe even a bit shy with you. He's absolutely in awe of you. He just sees you as being so strong, and it's just made him want to hide. He's in this void, which is this feeling of just nothing being nothing without you. There's so much admiration here for you. Oh my God, we need to get some advice for you. What do you need to do to move forward with this person? Retreat. Wake up call. Be true to yourself. Live your soul, not a role. Begin to explore. Reevaluate your priorities. Okay, I think a big part of this as well is you're worried what people think. Yeah, you need to retreat from people that feel that you cannot be your true self because you've got live your soul, not your role. And it feels like you're trying to fulfill this social need to be a specific type of person. You might be a teacher or someone really respected in a really senior role where it's all very serious, and you're worried about how people will perceive you if you're seen to be with someone that's that much younger than you. But you need to let that go. You need to begin to explore the truth of who you are and reevaluate your priorities because, this journey teaches you that which is material and certainly that which other people think is no consequence to you. You are who you are and you need to own it, and you love who you love and you need to own it. Don't deprive yourself of something really beautiful on the basis that other people might judge you. You could be letting go of the opportunity for a lifetime of joy and happiness, and that's outrageous to do that on the basis that other people may judge you. Who cares what they say? Those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. We've also got the golden children. Wow. So, you might have kids, this could be what will my kids say, but this is also about inner child tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. And there's a need here to heal the inner child. Perhaps you've always believed others, it's selfish to take what you want, and you should put other people's beliefs, opinions, and needs before your own. Water your own garden, nourishment, self-care, tenderness, and rest, star bathing, light body, crystal grid transmission, activation. So, I feel like you've only just found this whole twin flame soulmate concept. I feel like you're not a very spiritually developed person. And this is your wake up call to say you are on a spiritual journey and you need to start loving yourself. You need to start putting yourself first. You need to heal this inner child that doesn't feel entitled to put self first. And you need to start acknowledging this activation you've had in your light body and that you are connected to a crystal grid of joy. You are connected to a collective of people whose mission is to raise the vibration of the planet. And I can hear you saying, that's just silly. That's such a ridiculous thing to say. I'm not spiritual. I'm not psychic. But you are. And, I felt that way. That's how I felt when I woke up to this journey. I was like, he's absolutely kidding me. A twin what? It was outrageous. I thought it was the most silly thing I've ever read in my life, but it's been the most beautiful thing that's happened to me. And I assure you it will be for you too. We've got the Tower moment. We've got the Moon. We've got the Ace of Cups. And we've got the Three of Swords. So again, you need to let the ego crumble. And I know that you're feeling very disillusioned and there's a lot of fear, but this journey is about self-love and healing. And I feel like you've spent a lot of time healing yourself, but this is what's going to allow you to really move through and pass all of that pain that you've experienced. You were so ready for this now. Your healing is going to be rapid fire because you've already done so much. We've got the 10 of Swords in reverse again. This ego breaking that healing cycle is going to close out because it's going to help you embrace that spiritual side. Don't be worried about what your ex thinks either. That is the least of your concerns. You're also holding on to a lot of masculine energy. And if you're a single parent or provider and, you're still taking care of children and you're in that kind of you have to be very controlled. You do manage things. You're in that very masculine role, but there's a need here to reconnect with your divine femininity, and this person can help you do that. So let's see what's going to shift with them. What's shifting with your person next 3 to 6 months? I've got the 5 of Swords in reverse, so I do feel like there may have been some kind of conflict or falling out, but that's going to be resolved. I've got King of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, the Hermit in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse, Queen of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse, Seven of Swords in reverse. In terms of what's shifting for you, not gonna lie, these are heavy energies, and this is a heavy journey. I do feel like you're stepping into your spiritual power enough, but I feel like that's going to temporarily shake your emotional foundations because all of that shadow stuff coming up can be very overwhelming. I see you moving into a much more mature energy with this person of releasing that need to have petty conflict and stepping into your own power. I see him coming out of his shell, relieving himself of that deliberate solitude that he's taken. He's taking himself out of this connection. The benefit of looking into the future here is we can see what we don't want to happen, and what we don't want is this Hermit card to be reversed as it is, because this is showing me that you're not necessarily going to have gone in to do all of that inner work and that inner self-reflection that you need to start really moving forward for yourself, not just this journey, but for yourself. So you really need to take the time to focus on that now, to give yourself time to heal, to develop that self-awareness and that self-reflection about the truth of who you are. I do see some honesty being spoken and some truth being brought forward between you, of the guard coming down somewhat on both of you, kind of releasing the need to conceal your true feelings. And I really think that's going to help you move forward. So these are lovely, lovely energies for you. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you for this reading. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. You all mean a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, okay? Bye-bye.